It is Sunday night here on the OVERDRIVE Automotive Media YouTube channel, and we are here for the Slingshot Racing League Street Stocks here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway's Roval. My name is Cam Gillens, and as always, I got my good buddy, old Jacob Nickerson, here with me. There, Jacob.
I'm all here. Don't worry about it. You caught me mid-stretch there, but it's all good. But I'm really looking forward to this race. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a drafting track with some right-hand turns for a little bit, and it's going to be very interesting to see how many moves are made on the infield and how many moves are going to be made on the outfield. That's mostly what I'm going to be paying attention to today. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to being here, and we got, decent crowd for road course with street stock at least.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. It's like, I know when you put this on the schedule, I was really interested to see how this fares, especially when I heard that you are tuned them up all to the higher horsepower package on here. So it seems like these drivers are gonna be in for a treat going out of that turn one here.
Oh yeah.
But since we got that, we can go ahead and go into tonight's stories you kind of alluded to earlier.
So yeah, tonight's stories, we do have a little bit of shuffle points going on with people missing races and coming in, and I don't think we have any newcomers today, but I know we have a few mainstays that have missed today. And sorry. But a couple of mainstays there aren't here, but that's all good. So it's going to be another day of shuffling the points around. What I alluded to earlier with the outfield and infield, where it's going to be chicaneless, you're going to be drafting down the oval turns, down the backstretch, full throttle, and then hard on the brake to turn one. So if you catch a draft and you're going a lot faster than you're expecting, it might end up to be a bad old day. And speaking of bad old days, you're going to have to survive that turn one, because we're getting rid of that front stretch chicane there, so you're going to be blowing into turn one as fast as possible. And that way, that if you're not prepared for it, it will take you out in a heartbeat. I've already seen it a few times here in practice and qualifying sessions. It's going to be very interesting to see who can survive turn one, and hopefully if you're cautious in the turn one, you want to hope that the guy behind you is also cautious. And speaking of which, since it's a heavy braking zone, you're going to have to keep your cool. If you're if you're not keeping your cool, you're very possible you could ship the guy ahead of you in turn one and end up ruining both days. The next thing you know, you got a rival in the next last two race days. So you definitely want to keep her calm, keep her collected, and just not nosedive in turn one.
Yeah, which having braking corner is going to be very, very tricky. Going and keeping your cool will go into tonight's points situation going into tonight.
So for the points here, you do have the top three are here in the race today. You have James Danforth in the 88 at 149 points. Then you have Paul Hahn in the 7 at 133 points. And in third place is the 70 of Aaron Smith with 121. Right behind him is going to be the number 60 of Steve Vest in 116. That's 118, sorry, I can't read. And then Johnny Rapp coming home in 5th so far in points with 106 points. Larry in the 69 in 6th place with 97 points. Jacob Phillips in the 56, who's been MIA due to injury, with 86 points in 7th. Jimmy Moore in the 12th car of 80 points in 8th. And Paul Thomas in the number 42 machine in 9th place, coming in with 66 points. And you got Chris French in that 53 car with only 60 points in 10th position. And then you have Randy Gross, the 34 car, with 57 points in the 11th position. So it is quite close in points. Aaron Smith can do a lot of damage here today with possibly getting himself a win here. And James Danforth, if he doesn't have a good day, it can end up in catastrophe for him.
Yeah, it looks like as we go into tonight's feature, it looks like it's going to be very close between the 88 and the 70 on whoever gets this win. I guess that's pretty much a redo of what happened at, was it Watkins Glen?
Watkins Glen, yeah.
So we'll see if history repeats itself as those two once again will battle out. But it looks like we got about 30 seconds left in the qualifying session before we get into tonight's race. What's some things that you're going to keep an eye on there, Jacob, besides what we've already talked about?
As I've already talked about, I mean, it is quite slippery in the infield section from turns 2 to 7. So you could have somebody spinning out there, or definitely some time gained and time lost there as well. So as long as you can keep her clean in the infield and get along to the back end of the guy coming into turn 9, aka NASCAR turn 1, and just get that draft off him, and hopefully you can get by him by the backstretch, because you don't want to be focusing on passing a guy and when next thing you know turn 1's there. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they can keep it tight with each other to get around, to get into that drafting area for the NASCAR Oval.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that transition up between the track and the infield is also quite hairy.
It is. I haven't seen anybody get caught by it so far, but it's going to be very interesting to see if they do get caught by it. And see, I'm seeing a lot of people like cutting down and doing a lot more of a shallow entry into the bank corner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not going to ruin you too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do end up on the outside of somebody and you can't cut down into the curbs there, sorry, if you can't cut down the curbs with a guy on your inside, the turtles there, yeah, then you're going to be hitting that banking a lot harsher angle, and next thing you know, you're around. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind if you're side by side of a guy.
All right, looks like we got our drivers off and running, so we'll go ahead and take it back track side. So we'll go through tonight's starting grid.
It's going to be my favorite part of the evening, because coming home in first place in qualifying is going to be the number 70 of Aaron Smith. Right next to him is going to be the number 88 car of James Danforth. In the second row, you have the number 42 in the Mean Green Machine, Paul Thomas. Right next to him is the number 60, that is 60 of Steve Vest. And in the third lane, you have coming home in fifth place in the qualifying is going to be the number 7 of Paul Hahn. And in sixth place, right next to him, the fierce competitor himself, watch out for him today, is going to be the number 69 of Larry Pollock. As we're getting ready to come around here, as the pace truck's getting ready, he's all amped up, I'm all amped up, y'all watching are all amped up, Cam's probably amped up, I can't really tell you, it's all even on with him there, but I can imagine he's amped up, and we're getting ready to get going here soon.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this first time down turn 1. So, yeah, well, we got a couple static cams that we placed down in there for the broadcast tonight to see if it keeps its true name. I can never remember if it's a heartbreak or heartburn, whatever. I think it's been both. But either way, we're going to see if that lives up to its name.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it says heartburn right now because it's 2018 Oval.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's always an interesting thing when they come here in the Cup Series in NASCAR where the pace laps skip that first chicane and they're going a lot faster than normal. But this time there are no chicanes. So you're going to be going slower than normal, which could also mess up your braking points. As the pace truck does peel off, or getting ready to peel off, and we're getting ready to go here. Everybody waits ever so patiently. Everybody holds their bated breath. Quite a long wait. Green flag is out, we're going to good. As these guys tune their engines up, pedal to the metal, you have 105% horsepower. Coming in turn 1, is there going to be any catastrophes? Not looking like it so far. As we're coming into the infield here, you got to have a little bit of a battle going on in the rear of the pack between Steve Vest, Paul Thomas, and Paul Hahn, as each of them try to figure their way around each other. When ahead there, you do have James Danforth hunting down the back end of Aaron Smith here. See if he can make a move on him here soon, or at least get up next to him and get that sweet draft coming off the corners. He is getting a little bit of ground gained there. And then behind that as well is going to be not really much of action here. You got the battle of threes kind of slimmed out, and Aaron Smith makes that final corner, cut down the red paint as they enter into the oval.
As he's got out to over James Danforth is about a second back. So it might be a little bit too far back to gain some traction with that draft. It looks like that transition that me and Jacob kind of talked about just a little bit ago pretty much worked havoc on the back half of the field, as we're already spread out to about 4 seconds. The third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But to say that as we're coming around back into the tri-oval with Aaron Smith going back down into turn 1. We'll see if they can negotiate that corner.
James Danforth not losing much time in the turn 1. He's gone down to a 1.6 second gap, but he's going to be able to keep the pedal to the metal through the infield and hopefully get it back towards him. Aaron Smith does get a bit loose there coming into the front stretch. I don't think there was any issues in turn 1. Thankfully, everybody kept their heads on him. There's a little bit of a battle with the Pauls going on as Paul Thomas tries to find a way around Paul Hahn. See if he can get up into drafting distance coming out of turn 7 here. Turn 8, sorry. But right now they're just running around turn 5. This one is a bit of a tricky one as well because you are carrying a bit of speed in there and it's not very banked and the car can kick out from underneath you. Up ahead here you do have Aaron Smith already at a 2-second lead from James Danforth as Steve Vess has entered the fray. And we're getting ready to go on the oval once again. See if there is a 0.8 difference between the two Pauls, so that could be a drafting battle going on here.
Yeah, it looks like that's the closest battle we've got on track as they're rounding out turn 2, going by the backstretch. Looks like the 42 of Paul Thomas definitely taking some advantage in that draft of the 7 of Paul Hahn, as Aaron Smith comes around the finish line going back into turn 1. You see
Aaron
if
Smith already coming into turn 1. Looking so far so good in turn 1. Everybody seems to survive. We're all good to go here. There you go, and everybody's lap times are relatively close. Somewhat. Some of them are. And then, say, into the tri-oval here. Coming out of the tri-oval, really, is the number 1 of Aaron Smith. He's already miles ahead as he puts the competition in the dust behind him. But Steve Vest, the dark horse, and also the person with the least amount of practice time on this track, is keeping her held in 3rd place. Still got the battle of the Paul Hahns with only 1 second gap between the two. So Paul Hahn in 4th, and you got Paul Thomas in 5th. Larry Pauling coming in just out of the midfield now, as Aaron Smith is already quite deep into the oval section. James Danforth just right behind him, and Steve is trying to get up next to him as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're all. It's funny. As they go through this field, they're all about 4 seconds stretched out from each other. I think it's just the way that a draft is going, as Aaron Smith gets down to turn 1 once again.
We're going to see if there's any more casualties going on in turn 1 here. You have Paul Thomas going about 140 mile an hour into the turn, hard on the brakes. Downshifting her. He's coming around nice and tidy. Nobody's died yet. We're good to go. Say Larry Pauling coming in as well. He's putting hard on the brakes, turning in. Everybody survived turn 1 so far. As you do have Aaron Smith coming at turn 6, and going to be a good while until you see another car coming out of there. And you got James Danforth as well, and these guys. The only real battle happening right now is the battle between the Pauls. But that's starting to get gapped out around 2 seconds. But I'd say if you want to get a good old professional view of this track, we head on to the in-car of Aaron Smith, see how you drive around this place, because he's already putting on a clinic for the drivers. Might as well put one on for the viewers.
He's getting straight into turn 3, make sure that the car gets a good set as he comes back into the quad oval. We'll watch him. This is that turn 1 that we've all said. Looks like he's right there on the chip. As soon as he gets around, looks like start finish line is when he gets into the brakes as he's going up through the S's here in the infield.
So in the infield here, you do have him almost hitting the wall coming in, but you're good to go. He hits a little bit of the curb on one side and hits the curb on the outside and back in for the next corner in turn 4. You just have way out and almost into the grass, but not quite for turn 5. It's just a nice little sweeping corner. Staying in 3rd place, or 3rd gear throughout most of it. coming down in turn 6, just nice hugging the wall, a little bit of a wide exit. That leaves you gracefully into turn 7 as you do a bit of a out in out for turn 8 as you almost hit the wall there going into one of the pit areas, and then you're right then and there you're on the oval once again as your flat foot coming around the corners. And man, I've seen some good artists back in my day, but that was probably that was a masterpiece right there. I mean, smooth everywhere. Car looked like a paintbrush more than a race car.
Yeah, as once again the field's all strung out. As James Danforth is back almost 8 seconds, and then it looks like another 8 seconds back to Steve Vest. Then 20 seconds back from the leader is the 7 of Paul Hahn in 4th, and then Paul Thomas is another 6, and then 35 back all the way from the leader is Larry Pauling as he's just entering the backstretch. Our leader is already back into the infield section.
I was saying, I'm looking at Larry right now. He's the guy with the most amount of practice, so he has improved from when I saw him. So he's putting on a good show for himself here. He hasn't dove into turn 1 yet. So shaded that man there. He used as much practice sessions as he can find. Either way, these guys with not as much practice underneath their belt is still running pretty good. You got Steve Vest still hanging out in 3rd place. James Danforth, Aaron Smith at your top 3 in reverse order. And then Paul Hahn as well. I think he's starting to make gain on Steve Vest just a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. I can't really tell. The timer will go up and down depending on where you are on track. So yeah, Paul Thomas trying to get himself a good run into the infield or outfield as well. It's almost like we're playing baseball out here as Aaron Smith is already coming in turn 1.
As he hits the brakes getting down into turn 1, you see him sweeping that corner, taking it nice and gingerly as he comes on out. So you got Danforth also as he gets in turn 1. He hits the side of the turtles. Just once again, it just seems like these drivers are just kind of sprung out to all almost on equal terms.
Paul Hahn of a very good turn 1 though, gaining 0.8 seconds on Steve Vest. He does lose it a little bit in the infield here as he doesn't necessarily lose it. It's going up between 5 and 5.1, so it's going to be able to see if he can catch up to him. But it's looking like a lot of people's their struggles are the mid section, that little in section there. They're not necessarily making it easy on themselves for that little paintbrush action. They're keeping it tight to the track, and that's just having him washed out, and that just loses them time to the guy ahead of us. But Paul Hahn's able to keep it a 5-second gap coming out of the outfield. And keep in mind, last turn 1, he was able to make up 0.6 seconds on the turn 1 braking zone as they're coming down into NASCAR Oval once again.
We got our leader in the turn 1. He sweeps all the way out to the corner, to the wall as he's going down through the S's with his 11.5-second lead. And it looks like that battle between Paul and Steve Estes just kind of keeps stagnant, all right about 5 seconds.
I'm not entirely sure what happened there, because I saw Steve Vest jump up to about a 7-second lead and then back down to a 5. So I don't know, that's just the timing and scoring having a bit of a issue there, but either way, we're gonna keep her going. So you do have Larry putting on some fast laps. This is run his fastest lap of the race so far of a 24.16. And he's getting progressively better. He might be able to hunt down Paul Thomas here near the end, as we are getting past halfway pretty well. Next lap around. But in the infield, everybody's keeping him nice and tidy, nice and straight. As I say that, Steve Vest is losing a little bit of time to Paul Hahn. See, Paul Hahn did run a faster lap of 21.9 last go around compared to Steve Vest 21.5. And you have Paul Thomas coming around the last bend onto the NASCAR Oval as everybody gets ready to come around once again.
Something we didn't really talk about in pre-race there, Jacob. What's the situation on tires and fuel with these drivers?
Fuel, you'll be good to go. Tires, you do
Okay.
have 2 extra sets just in case you do pile drive into turn 1. You also have 2 faster pairs for if you do pile on turn 1. But you know, fuel shouldn't be an issue. Tires, you might get a bit scruffed up on the infield, and should be an even wear for what it's worth. And the car's nice and drifty coming into the bank corner, so you'll be able to hold her there pretty good. But the rears might start screaming at you near the end here. If everybody starts running all out, you're gonna have the rears really screaming at you. Meanwhile, closest battle update, Paul Hahn is 4.4 seconds behind Steve Vest. Slowly but surely catching up to him. He's got about 8 laps to do it. Says I never really graduated math class, but Steve Vest is coming back onto the NASCAR Oval, seeing if he can make a run at James Danforth. He is 13 seconds behind, but I still believe in him. I do believe Aaron Smith might be up coming to Larry Pauling right now, or not right now, but soon, as they are only a little bit of a mini oval next to each other with the weird little in-course road oval looking thing.
Yeah, it looks like he's only about 23 seconds. So based on his time, so we're looking for probably 3 or 4 laps within catching them.
And this is where you get worried, because if you're a lap car, you're mostly worried about getting out of the guy ahead of his way, and then it ends up, next thing you know, oh, turn 1's coming. And then next thing you know, you're going over. Granted, that could cause a caution as well, and also end up with a free faster pair, maybe a free set of tires, and that, I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be the worst idea to pile drive into turn 1, get a caution, do that faster pair and put tires on there, but I'm not going to promote that. I'm just saying it would be an option I would use. As you do have quite a bit of a gap between first, second, and third. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm actually kind of shocked no one has done that yet.
I know.
Based on what we saw in practice.
They got it all out in practice, it's fine.
Yeah, they all did the classic, we'll push it to see how far we can push it, and then after that, we'll just set it at the line and just kind of sit it there. It looks like that lead, or that gap between third and fourth, Steve Vest and Paul Hahn, is shrinking.
Oh yeah, it's gone from a 5 to a 4.3. I do think it is just Steve Vest being too hard in the turn 1, because I heard his motor, he wasn't braking until about 2 car lengths after the start-finish line, so he's ended up driving into the turn 1 way too hard, and that just gives Paul Hahn the advantage to get up next to him. Problem is, Steve Vest is pretty good in the infield section there, so he's going to be able to run away from Paul Hahn a little bit, but then Paul Hahn's going to come right back at him in turn 1. So Steve Vest's strategy right now is just run as much time on the road course as possible before you get back onto the oval.
It's going to be interesting to see the longer these drivers drive here down the road, and if the tire wear promotes them being able to brake coming in that first corner.
That's a good point, because, I mean, when you're downshifting, the tires do like to rattle, so if you're already losing grip, that might just end your day on you a little bit. Yeah, I really thought of that, because... Yeah, no, because if you notice, every time they go downshift, unless they're really, really careful on it, the car seems to shimmy around. If your rear tires are cooked and that thing does a little shimmy, you're going around sideways, upside down, 360, everything else you can possibly do. To say that, we have Aaron Smith catching up to Larry Pauling here. Only 1.6 seconds behind him. You see how he deals with the lap traffic. Honestly, if I was him, I'd try to get around him before turn 1 just so you avoid
Looks like he himself did take your advice right there, Jacob, and just went around him right as he got up into the oval.
So making sure it's done early, unless so you don't have to worry about it for so much longer. I did have a slight internet buffer there. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we're still good to go. I'm still excited.
We're going to see
coming down to almost 4 laps to go.
If the AA Danforth will have the same. Well, it looks like he's. I forget how far behind he is, but it looks like that gap between Steve Vesta and Paul Hahn has shrank to almost about 3 seconds now.
That's the thing. If Steve Vesta keeps overshooting that turn one, he's going to leave himself into an issue here where Paul Hahn's going to be able to get around him on the inside of turn one, as Steve Vesta does come up there a few times. That being said, 3.4 seconds, that gap's gone down a few over the last few laps, but is it enough with only 4 laps to go in this race? Is he going to be able to catch him in time? That's going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to. 3.5 coming into turn one. Steve Vest actually does a pretty good turn one there, but is already down to a 3.1 second gap. It is climbing as Steve Vest does show his power on the infield compared to Paul Hahn's.
They were on board with Paul Hahn there. We saw him take that first corner. It looked like it was pretty perfect in my perspective, and looks like, based on what we're seeing on our timing screen, it's still about 3.4 seconds the gap between them. So we'll see what the difference is as they come back onto NASCAR Oval.
That being said, Steve Vest's last lap around was a 1:23.0, but Paul Hahn's is a 1:22.2. So it's very, he ran almost a second faster than him, so. That's the thing. I don't know if Steve Vest is going to be able to hold on to it for long enough, but it is coming down to the closing chapter of this race, but it's going to be something to see for what it's worth. As we may have missed a turn one incident. Hold on, fellas, hold on. I look over at Paul Thomas's car. He's got no front end. I'm going to see if I can find where this may have been. Oh, I found it.
Okay, we'll go side by side with that. It looks like Jacob has got it all figured out. Give it 1 second. All right.
There we go. So it is a nice and smooth turn one for what it's worth, but turn two, coming down and into here, he comes up a bit too high. He goes to shift gears. He may have missed third and hit second somehow or something like that, because he spun that thing around and was able to keep it going again. So I'm gonna see. You're gonna see some UI pop up here because I don't have my macros set. I'm gonna see the onboard, see if he did just miss a gear. I'm not quite sure if he missed a gear or not, but it did seem that the tires chattered on him, and may have been what we were saying about earlier with the wear down tires and the switching the gears.
And speaking of the 42 of Paul Thomas, looks like the 70 is on his toe. We'll see if he gets that draft right now to see if he can get it before we get down to that notorious turn one once again.
This one's looking like it's going to be a bit tighter, but you got to keep in mind Paul Thomas does have massive front end damage from that contact in turn three. Turn two, starting in turn three, crashed in turn three. What? Starting in turn two, crashed in turn three. You get what I mean. It's looking like Aaron Smith is going to make a decision. Does he slack off in turn one, or does he try to nosedive it in there and get around Paul Thomas for the infield? This is going to be a bit harder of a deal to get around him in turn one. Aaron Smith sideways around turn one to get around him. I don't think he wanted to do that, but he was forced into it by happenstance. That looked like a move he was not anticipating to make. You're coming down to like 2 laps to go. Steve Vest trying to run away as fast as possible, and he is managing to do so as Paul Hahn may have pushed the car a bit too much. His lap time is starting to fall as well.
Yeah, it's dropped down to about 4 seconds between the difference on them now.
See, shade it to James Danforth though. He might be a bit farther behind from Aaron Smith, but he's been putting on a pretty consistent show himself. I've only seen his lap times fluctuate whenever the tires start wearing down. See, it's been a very like steady climb, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't been like jutting down and upwards. It's been consistent. So, shade it to James Danforth. I know it's probably not the probably the day I was looking forward. I know some guys like these road courses, and some guys don't. And compared to his Watkins Glen finish here, he did manage to get a second place there as well, I do believe,
Oh.
because contact between Jimmy Moore and Aaron Smith and Watkins Glen.
So we'll see if Paul can negotiate this turn one.
We are
Keep
coming
thinking-
into 1 lap to go.
This is the final lap.
Yep. I'm saying Aaron's got 1 lap to go. The rest of the field's got a bit, but
They all take this last corner one more time.
a little bit sideways, a little bit of tire markings from the back right tire from James Danforth as that thing is struggling for grip. Steve Vest absolutely screaming down the front straightaway. Hitting about 142 mile an hour. Slamming on the brakes. See if that thing gets all effed up on him. Nope, just a lot of fire coming out of the thing and not a lot of tire squeals, so he's able to good go. Paul Hahn is a little bit of a less excitement, but more consistency. That's what I like to see here. And you do have Aaron Smith coming across for the checkered flag. Aaron Smith with putting on the show of the season so far, showing them exactly how it's done around this place. He's going to go burn it down in the heartburn turn, Chase Elliott style, what looks of it. Or no, he's just going to tow back to the pit area. I thought he was going to do a Chase Elliott redo. Here you have James Danforth coming around, seeing the back end of Larry Pauling as he's going to come home in second place here. Coming down in NASCAR 3 and 4. See if anything miraculous happens. Maybe a UFO comes up and sucks the car away, but that's not going to happen today as he brings it home in second place. And if we go down to NASCAR turn 3, we have Steve Vest looking like he's going to bring it home in third place. Unless something catastrophic happens. That battle between him and Paul Hahn was very much a numbers battle. Very much a game of chess. One person was good in the oval, one person was good in the outfield. Or infield, sorry. As Steve Vest does cross the line into third place. And then coming around here, Paul Hahn right behind him, coming home in fourth.
Ooh.
Paul Thomas circling. A little bit of turn one calamity that we were talking about. See, Paul Thomas going to see if he can limp it over to get himself a fifth place finish here.
Well, that wasn't as exciting as I was anticipating based on our practice. Looks like the only one that really had an incident was Paul here. All these drivers did a great job going that first turn.
Yeah, I mean, talk about putting as little amount of wear on your car as possible. As Paul Thomas does victory lap for completing the race, and that kind of wrecked bucket of bolts, that is an accomplishment in itself. So I'm gonna have to give it to him. Good old round of applause to Paul Thomas here.
Alright.
So Aaron Smith came up to the driver's booth, slipped a piece of paper in front of my hands, and it was the tire sheet. My man only had 80%, or not only, but he had a whole 80% on both the front right and the front. What? The front right and the back right tire was 80% wearing down. On the left side was exactly 90/90, so that is keeping care of your stuff right there.
We go through our results for tonight. So it's like Aaron Smith takes home the win, followed by the 88 James Danforth, the 60th Steve S in third, the 7 of Paul Hahn in fourth, 42 of Paul Thomas in fifth, the 69 of Larry Pauling in sixth, rounding out our field.
There you go. It might not have been the most exciting show, but it was definitely interesting to watch people try to navigate around where people were stronger than others. And we're gonna start up talking with the third place finisher here, Mr. Steve Vest, my personal dark horse in these kind of things. And Everybody put your hands together for the number 60. Here he comes. There he is.
Rolling
Steve
plate.
is Steve is Jacob. Is Jacob in the booth? You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Sorry about that.
No, you're all good, man. I may have caught you off mid-conversation here, but I know this wasn't necessarily the most intense side-by-side racing here, but you still put on a pretty good clinic, coming home in third place, running away from Paul Hahn near the end. I mean, I know you didn't get much practice time. I know you came in about 5 minutes left in the session, if even. So, what were your thoughts coming in here? What were your thoughts coming out?
Well, like you said, not much practice. I knew I wasn't up to speed yet. And I kind of used the rest of qualifying to kind of get used to it. I was used to the track. I've done the track before, like in MX-5s. So I just had to get used to the car. And then I was doing okay. I did not qualify well because I hit the wall on lap 1. but other than that, I held my own. I think I'm happy with myself.
There you go. I mean, one of the main stories coming in this broadcast here, none of it really happened, but with the no chicane layout, y'all were heading quite fast in the turn 1, and turn 1's a turn and a half. So, did you find yourself getting caught out by turn 1 any time?
That's what got me. That is what got me on lap 1. and I got like 3 practice laps, and in all 3 of those, I slapped that wall. So I finally started getting it.
You found your limit and started backing up from there.
yeah, but had to really get on the brakes. Boy, you really have to get on the brakes hard at the finish line. And I started trying to cheat it just past the finish line, and it was too far. For me, it was too far.
So when you downshift these cars, it also tends to shake the rear tires and ends up getting even more sketchy. So
yeah, I'm pretty good about my RPM matching, so I didn't ever have that issue. I do a lot of road racing in Formula and sports car.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of used to that in a little bit, but some of these guys are just unbelievable how good they are. Like Aaron, jeez. and you know, Danforth, I mean, he was just constantly pulling away. There was no way I was going to catch him. So.
Say the only real pressure you had to deal with was Paul Hahn in the back, but
yeah, I had to make sure I didn't mess up. And he was gaining. He got to, my numbers were saying he got to within less than 3.5 seconds from me. And then I guess his tires started going because I started gaining a little bit. So I felt better. And that last lap, I made sure I just didn't screw anything up.
Just keep your P's and Q's straight and everything good to go.
Right. Sure did.
Well, it's always fun having you in the booth here, Steve. I'm one of the few. I'm not few. You're one of the few drivers I'll cheer on from the booth. I know I'm supposed to be as unbiased as possible, but I think my favorites do shine through.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope I can keep getting better and make everybody appreciate my racing better too. My main thing is stay out of trouble. Don't cause trouble.
Saying this series was really built for just to get better, get some practice laps in for.
Right, I really appreciate this. The street stocks are so much more fun. I'm glad we're doing street stocks this season. So I like it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
Yes. Say, before we let you go here, do anybody want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank?
Well, my buddy Paul, teammate, he gave me some real quick pointers when I joined practice real late. And my other teammates that have helped me so much. They have taught me so much. Chris and Ellis, they've helped me so much. And the other guys in the league, even you guys. I mean, I've been in races with y'all, and y'all have helped me. So just the league in general has been really good with me.
There you go. I mean, couldn't have said it better myself about the league here. And say, we're gonna let you go, and you have yourself a nice, relaxing Sunday night to get ready for Monday morning.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.
And that was the number 60 of Steve Vest as we're getting ready to pull up the second place finisher here, Mr. 88 of James Danforth. Getting him dragged up here. I gotta drag him twice. Here he comes. There he is. James, it's Jacob in the booth. You got me?
I do.
There you go, man. I mean, you put on a pretty consistent show. I mean, you didn't have much of a fight going on behind you. So, I mean, you just were on a pretty well Sunday cruise out there, man. I mean, what was your secret, let's just say?
Just trying to keep it on the track and out of the wall. I zoned out for at one point towards the end and almost head on the heartburn turn.
We had a camera set there waiting for somebody to pile drive into it, but nobody did.
I was close.
Say here, I know this wasn't advertised as much, but I did have y'all running 105% power. Was that noticeable at all for the bendiness of the infield, or?
It felt better. It definitely, I think it definitely helped on the straightaways. But yeah, I mean, I didn't notice a super drastic difference, but I was never really in the draft, so I think that's probably where I would have noticed a bigger difference. So,
like, it wasn't spinning the tires off you when you're in the lower gears.
I mean, if I was pushing it, it definitely would have. Like in practice, I was messing around, and if I got on it coming out of the corners for more than a lap or two, it would start to get, or the back end would just start to step out. But other than that, it was good.
So what you're saying was just a little bit of a reminder, being like, "Hey, you're going too far. Back it up."
Yeah.
It's when the machine talks to the driver, one of those kind of things.
For sure, definitely.
And say, what was your expectations coming into this race here? I know everybody fears Aaron on these road courses, and did you think you had anything for him, or were you just gonna try to cruise around and take second place?
I knew I wasn't gonna have anything for him, so I was just content riding around in second.
Hey, I know that old yellow banana thing's quite fearful on road courses.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, where are we going next week? I should know this on the broadcaster.
I don't know.
The
South
Boston. Yeah.
That should be fun.
We got some classic short track racing coming in after this drafting track of right-hand turns. So, we're going to be back in your good old wheelhouse on short tracks, so you can get some extra points going. I'm pretty sure you still hold the lead because of the lack of heat races. There was less points on the board today, so you should still hold the lead barely over Aaron Smith.
Well, that's good. Hopefully we will keep it next week as well.
Hopefully. So only got 2 races left, so you got to keep it pedal down, keep it consistent.
Yep.
Say here, it's always fun having you in the booth here. So before we let you go, do you have anybody or anything you want to shout? Anybody you want to say thank to? Or I said that correctly. You don't look into it too hard.
Like every week, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time and doing this for us. It's makes it a lot more entertaining. Other than that, I think that's it for tonight.
Very help yourself a relaxing Sunday night for a dreaded Monday morning.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna let you go here. Have a good one, man.
Thank you too.
And that was the 88 of James Danforth as we're getting ready to hear from the race winner, Mr. Paintbrush himself, the number 70 of Aaron Smith. Put your hands together. Here he comes. There he is. Aaron, it's Jacob in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I've got you.
Sounds good, man. The way I talked about your car right there, it looked like a paintbrush. The way you're painting around those corners, nice little, looked like Picasso out there. I tell you. And say I know you put on a pretty well large clinic for these drivers here on how to race this place. Do you have any secret tricks you had in mind, or was it just pure pace?
I'm not too sure. I've been running a lot of the NASCAR Euro Series stuff this week since they just brought that car out. And it's given me a lot of time to kind of look back at my driving style and kind of refine it in a way that would let me take this car that usually has a fall off of about 2 seconds like a single tire run
Hmm.
and turn it to about 3/10. So I was able to run the same laps that I was running in the very beginning to about lap 15 or so. And like my first lap was an 18.8. My last lap was a 19.0. So in a car that should fall off dramatically after the first 5 laps, I think I found something. And hopefully I'll be able to use that everywhere else.
Yeah. So I take it the 105% power wasn't much of a notice.
And it was not. I did not realize we had that.
No, I had it I had it in as a secret recipe, and we had a camera in turn one. I was hoping somebody would overcook it, but this field driver is talented enough to keep her out of turn one, heartburn corner. So
Yeah, it's
I know.
definitely good.
So I know the gearing could have used a bit more fiddling with, but I fiddled it as much as I could with the time I had.
Yeah, got to add that extra 5%, take some weight out of it, and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
I did feel the back end try to get away from me, but my tire wear was even on all four sides somehow. Like I was pushing just enough in the nose, pushing just enough in the rear, because the car usually like tears the back tires up either way. But like I guess I figured out a way to get it all even. And a race is not really long, but as grueling as this is on the tires, like
Yes.
it's something worth exploring later in the future.
So I'm half wondering if it's just the fact that there's no chicanes, so the tires have just that much time to cool down after the infield section that can help tire wear there a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, it's a good point. That would have been interesting to test. I might give that a shot later just to see if there's that much of a difference. Sure there is, but like
Oh yeah.
even like after lap 5, there was still a difference in handling in the tighter sections in the infield, but you could change your approach well enough to compensate for that in a manner that wouldn't actually drop any time. So I'll have to give that a try on my own time.
So next time, next race day, if you get back in the booth here, we'll have to hear from your scientific results from today.
Sounds good.
Say, I mean, again here putting on an absolute clinic. We went on the onboard there for a little bit. One of the laps, can't remember which one, and it looked like a paintbrush out there. So, congratulations on your race win. I know you're going to be nipping at the heels of James Danforth in points. I'm not entirely sure if you passed him because there wasn't any heat points, so less points on the board here. But you should still have a pretty solid second place coming into next week, which is going to be at South Boston.
Yeah, it should be fun. I like South Boston. I don't know if I'll be able to show up for every race to end this season, but I would like to. And give them a run for that championship. Not sure how far back I am now, but it should be fairly close now. I'm looking forward to it either way.
There you go. And I mean, again, it's always a pleasure having you in the booth here, letting you spread your. We always say about students of the games, well, you're meeting the teacher right now. So, since we're done your teachings here, before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at the Slingshot Racing League for putting this championship on, y'all for broadcasting, as well as the folks at Wanted Goons and StatStack for their support as well, all the folks in the field for putting on a good race, and all the people who might be watching right now. I'm looking forward to getting back at it whenever I show up next.
There you go. I mean, you go have yourself a good Sunday night for the dreaded Monday morning.
Oh yeah, I forgot to buy donuts at the store, by the way.
No, I
I
forgot
wasn't sure if
about
you were
that
gonna
too.
bring it up. I forgot.
God damn it.
I looked right at them. I walked straight past them.
Even I forgot about the donuts. This ain't a good day anymore.
No, it's not.
I'm
Gotta
finding
redeem
your
it. Yeah, tomorrow. The best part about Monday is me going to the store and getting some donuts. I swear I'll do it this time.
There you go.
Probably not. I don't know.
I'm gonna find your address and ship you some Canadian donuts. I don't think they have any different than American ones, but
I need to get me a box of Krispy Kremes. Not sponsored. Please sponsor me.
not sponsored, but please.
You never know.
You come up next week with yellow donut inside your car. Gonna be
Hell yeah.
We're gonna let you go here, man. Have yourself a good one.
And for y'all too.
And that was your race winner, Mr. Aaron Smith in the old Banana 70 car. I can't believe I forgot to ask him about the donuts. I made such a good point last week, and I completely forgot about this one. I should be ashamed of myself. So, Cam, you got any closing thoughts for us to get down the interviews here?
I mean, I think the race itself was what we thought it would be based on the times and based what we all talk about. Know that road courses are. It pretty much showcases your pretty much confidence, control, and going down these. I know, like we were talking, if you go officials, you could see the specific differences between the driver on their lap time and everything, just pretty much all experience levels. And that's exactly what we saw tonight. I'm actually pretty shocked. I mean, going through these lap times, they are very within a second or two, majority of them. But I think a lot of it's what we saw with the lap times, and the gap is trying to who can put down that lap after lap after lap. And I think that's what it comes down to. Like Aaron said, he can keep his tires exactly about all four on the wear pattern. So
yeah, no, that was the most impressive part of it, really, is the fact he was able to keep the tires completely evenly worn. So yeah, I just want to make sure everybody that's still watching, going to be watching in the future, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the Overdrive Automotive YouTube channel. It helps us out a lot. And just tell us about, if you made it this far into the VOD, comment your favorite type of donut. Because you need to, you need to, you know, take over where I left off.
That's funny. Hey, got anything else before we head out for the night there, Jacob?
I'm just thinking about donuts again.
Just about donuts. Okay. Well, as we go into donuts, before we head out for the night, I just wanted to pretty much go ahead and announce a big event that's here at Overdrive is going to be put on in a few weeks.
I forgot about this. We're going to have a busy old week here coming up.
Oh, man, it's going to be a killer, crazy week for here at Overdrive. So we're going to put on the first annual Overdrive Classic. So it's a concept that I've kind of had for probably about a year now. That I've kind of wanted to see how figure it out. And I finally got enough through everything that I'm pretty sure we could probably put it on. So it's going to be a full weekend as 23rd, 24th, 25th in July. So it's going to be a classic weekend event. So practice qualifying will go separate nights compared from the events. And that'll be leading up to the Saturday night three-peat feature, as you can see up on our graphic there. So we're going to start out the night with a 150 laps super late model feature, 175 laps tour mods, and then closing out the night in a 200 lap O'Reilly series main event. I think it's going to be a killer night.
Oh yeah. It's quite the ambitious it's quite an ambitious undertaking. I haven't quite seen anybody do this before, so it's going to be quite the interesting thing to see, just as a spectacle event kind of thing.
Yeah, and it is going to be full cash payouts, and there's going to be more. I'm going to put out as soon as this is done on our Discord, on Reddit, and everything, the full details on it. But there is going to be full cash payouts, and there's going to be a specific payout for the best one that can take on all three of those events on Saturday. So I'm pretty stoked to see what that's going to be about. If y'all are interested, like I said, I can put the Discord on there. Reach out here on the channel. You can either comment on here or email us at oamracing8@gmail.com. And then the sign-ups on Discord, and I can't wait to get this going. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
Oh yeah.
But that's about all I got for you tonight. So this has
The
been
bomb has been dropped.
yeah, now that the bomb is dropped, yeah, something I've been working on for months. But anyway,
Yeah.
this has been Cam and Jacob for Overdrive Automotive Media YouTube channel, and we will